In the bustling center of a picturesque California coastal town was a small restaurant called Ocean Breeze *, famous for its exquisite seafood dishes, warm atmosphere, and beautiful view of the Pacific Ocean. The restaurant was frequented by locals and tourists alike, and its charm lay not only in the quality of the food, but also in the colorful personalities of the staff. Among them was Alice Harper, a fiery red-haired girl with a quick wit, a sharp tongue, and a distaste for authority figures. Alice had worked at the Ocean Breeze for the past 3 years. Before that, she had gone from job to job, from waitress at the diner to cashier at the local grocery store, always searching for a place where she felt at home. When she first walked into Ocean Breeze, she was immediately won over by the combination of the sea breeze and the warm chatter of customers. Although at first reluctant to linger in one place, she quickly became attached to the busy restaurant, finding comfort in its rhythm and the camaraderie of her coworkers. Regular customers loved her for her offhand humor and genuine concern, but colleagues often joked that she could put her foot in her mouth. Her forthright honesty sometimes bordered on brashness, and she wasn't shy about speaking her mind, even if it got her into trouble. Despite this, her charisma made her indispensable in the restaurant, and even Mr. Whitaker, the owner, had learned to tolerate her outbursts. One sunny afternoon, the restaurant was more crowded than usual. The air was filled with the clinking of glasses, laughter, and the occasional crash of waves against the rocky shore. Alice darted from table to table, her apron stuffed with notepads and pens. As she poured coffee for a couple sitting by the window, she noticed 2 men enter and take a seat in her section. One was an older gentleman, tall and ruggedly handsome with piercing eyes, and the other, slightly younger, but just as commanding, exuded confidence. Alice approached their table, not bothering to look at the menu they were studying. "Hi. Welcome to Ocean Breeze *. May I offer you drinks, or are you ready to order?" The older man looked up, a faint smile playing on his lips. "I'll have a black coffee. How about you?" he asked, turning to his companion. "Just water for now," the other man replied. His voice was smooth and commanding. Alice scribbled in her notebook, her curiosity piqued by their polished demeanor. "I'll be right with you," she said, and stepped back to place her drink order. On the way out, she overheard scraps of their conversation. They were talking about business ventures and movies, their tone casual but purposeful. The older man gestured with his hands from time to time to emphasize a point, while the younger man leaned back slightly, radiating calm confidence, and nodded thoughtfully. She smirked to herself, figuring it was just another pair of smug businessmen who liked to throw around loud words. When she returned with the drinks, the older man asked, "What would you recommend?" Alice leaned on the table, her pen at the ready. "Well, if you're feeling fancy, we have a very popular lobster risotto. But if you're looking for something simple, fish tacos are a great choice." The younger man chuckled. "How do you think we feel?" Alice shrugged. "You seem to be the type to enjoy fancy dishes, but you still wish the portions were bigger." Both men laughed, and their response caught her off guard. The older man said, "Okay, you convinced me. I'll have the risotto." "Make it 2, his companion added. As Alice stepped back to place her order, her co-worker Jenna approached her. "Do you know who that is?" whispered Jenna, eyes wide. Alice frowned. "Who?" "The guy who just ordered the risotto. That's Clint Eastwood. And the other guy. That's Donald Trump." Alice blinked, her thoughts scattered. She'd heard of both men, of course. Clint Eastwood was a Hollywood legend, and Donald Trump was a scandal-ridden real estate mogul and reality TV star, and most recently became the 47th president of the United States of America. But instead of feeling fear, Alice felt a surge of defiance. When she returned to the food table, her usual sassiness intensified. "Here you are, gentlemen," she said, setting the plates in front of them. "Your posh portions of lobster risotto. Don't say I didn't warn you." Eastwood smiled, his eyes sparkling. "You're witty, aren't you?" "I'm just honest," Alice replied, crossing her arms. "And honest? I'd never been a fan of big shots who think they own the world." Trump raised an eyebrow. "Really?" Alice nodded. "Yes. People like you always forget about the little guys who keep everything running. The cooks, the servers, the janitors. Without us, your fancy meals wouldn't exist." There was silence at the table for a moment, and Alice's heart raced. Had she gone too far? But then Eastwood chuckled, his deep voice breaking the tension. "You have courage, I have to hand it to you." Trump's lips curved in a sly smile. "What's your name?" "Alice Harper," she replied, lifting her chin. "Well, Alice," Trump said, "you have quite a good attitude, but I'll admit it's refreshing." As the meal continued, the two men engaged Alice in conversation, asking about her life, aspirations, and thoughts on various topics. Despite her initial misgivings, she realized that she enjoyed their charisma and wit. By the time they left, they had left a generous tip and piqued Alice's curiosity. The next day, Mr. Whittaker, the owner of the Ocean Breeze, called a staff meeting. He announced that Clint Eastwood and Donald Trump had recently purchased the restaurant as a joint investment and that their visit was to evaluate its operations. Alice's jaw dropped. "You're kidding," she said. "Not at all," Mr. Whittaker replied. "And they were particularly impressed with you, Alice. They said your honesty and passion are exactly what this place needs." In the months that followed, Ocean Breeze underwent changes. Eastwood and Trump's involvement brought a new level of attention to the restaurant, but they did their best to maintain its charm and support the staff. Alice became a sort of unofficial ambassador for the restaurant, her fiery temper attracting customers and making her a local celebrity. Yet she remained herself, proving that sometimes speaking your mind could lead to unexpected opportunities. Though she never failed to tease Eastwood and Trump during their rare visits, she developed a respect for these men, who in their own way taught her that even the big shots could appreciate the little guys. Over time, Alice's role expanded to that of a waitress. She began collaborating with the chefs on menu changes, using her understanding of customer preferences to create new dishes. She also helped train new staff, passing on her no-nonsense approach to customer service that quickly became a hallmark of Ocean Breeze *. During their visits, Clint and Donald began to evaluate less and enjoy the fruits of their investment more. Clint often shared stories of his Hollywood days, and Donald offered advice on managing business ventures. Both men treated Alice as their equal, and their camaraderie surprised everyone who knew her. One day during a lull in the restaurant, Clint approached Alice with an idea. "Have you ever thought about running this place?" he asked in a serious tone. Alice blinked in surprise. "Running the Ocean Breeze." "Why not?" replied Clint. "You have the passion and the vision. Plus, you've already won the favor of the customers and staff." Alice laughed, but the thought of it never left her. Over the next few weeks, she began to think about the opportunity. She began taking notes on operations, asking Mr. Whittaker for advice, and even attending business seminars on her days off. Her colleagues noticed the change, rallied around her, and supported her newfound ambition. By the end of the year, Alice was completely transformed. It had been a year full of challenges and triumphs. Alice handled a difficult incident with a client that could have spiraled out of control, and successfully led the team through a sudden staff shortage during the peak vacation season, meeting each challenge head-on. She also took the lead in launching a social media campaign that attracted new customers and revitalized the restaurant's image. These milestones were not only professional accomplishments, but also markers of personal growth that taught Alice resilience, adaptability, and the importance of leading on her team. She became not only a more confident leader, but also an inspiration to her co-workers. She was no longer just the witty waitress who had once sassed Clint Eastwood and Donald Trump. Now she was a confident, driven individual with a clear vision for the future of Ocean Breeze *. And while she still retained her temper, it was her newfound understanding of leadership and collaboration that held her back. One evening, standing on the edge of the restaurant's patio and watching the sun sink below the horizon, Alice experienced a deep sense of gratitude. Life had taken an unexpected turn, and she had accepted the challenge. She knew there were more surprises ahead, but right now she was enjoying the journey that had brought her here.